Hey guys, it's Alyssa from Planet Alyssa here with this week's What I Sold on Etsy video. And I have good news, I actually sold more than 10 items this week, which is the first time that's happened in almost a month, I think. Yeah, this week I sold 17 items for a total of $255.05. I will explain in a little bit why that's such a weird amount. But I'm very happy with that total, and I did exceed my weekly $200 goal. So anyway, I am very happy about this week's sales, and I will go ahead and show you each of the items that sold this week. The first item that sold this week is Timmy Tiptoes. He's a Beatrix Potter figurine, and I picked him up a little while ago at a rummage sale with a bunch of other Beatrix Potter figurines. This is the first one to have sold, and it sold for $25. Okay, this item is the source of the weird total. This sold for $14.05, and the reason it sold for such a weird amount is someone made an offer of $20 with the shipping for this, and the shipping was set at $5.95, so I just changed the item price to $14.05, so that's why things are so weird. And this is a it's a box or tin or whatever you want to call it in the shape of a cowboy. It's actually cardboard, and it I guess originally held candy. It was a Fanny Farmer thing, and I don't remember where I picked this up. This is a small figurine. I believe this is a sheep, although then I was thinking, oh, it could be a dog. I'm not quite sure what it is because it has sort of a folk art kind of style. Anyway, it sold for $6, and it's something I picked up at a garage sale. This is another figurine. This one's brass, it's metal, it's in the shape of a unicorn, and it sold for $8, and I picked this up at a thrift store. I also picked this up at a thrift store. It's a pumpkin latch hook kit. It sold for $20. I actually picked this up just last week, and I got it listed right away because I figured, you know, people want to get their Halloween stuff made before Halloween. And it sold almost right away. It sold within a few hours of listing it, so that's always cool. Next item that sold is the Hamburglar. This is a vintage doll, like a stuffed doll. It sold for $20. This is really like a new old stock item. It was actually sealed in its original plastic bag, and I guess it was a premium from McDonald's, or maybe it was even sold in stores. I'm not really sure. But I picked this up at a rummage sale. And I sold 3 souvenir pennants. These were those mini pennants, so very small. Each one sold for $8, and they actually all sold to the same buyer. So we have Canada, we have Maryland, and then there's also one from New York. And these I picked up in an auction. And this also came from an auction. It is a backgammon set. It sold for $40 and is a nice full-size set in the nice leatherette case with the nice thick Bakelite plastic playing pieces. And then these are a very old pair of eyeglasses, spectacles. I guess you would say they're like the pince-nez style glasses. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. But these sold for $35, and they're something I picked up at a barn sale. I sold these Pillsbury Doughboy finger puppet doll character things for $20. I picked these up not too long ago at a thrift store. When I was doing some research on these, I found out they were part of like a whole Pillsbury Doughboy playset that they actually, I guess, sold in stores. These were in pretty dirty condition. I did try cleaning them, but I didn't really get a lot of the dirt off. It's just kind of, I guess, embedded in the plastic there. And I sold this baby's first Christmas stocking kit, like an embroidery kit. It's a very small stocking. It sold for $15. And this is something I also picked up last week at a thrift store, and it didn't sell quite as fast as the pumpkin latch hook kit, but it did sell pretty fast within a day or two of listing it, I would say. Sold this vintage wooden recipe box for $10. It's something I picked up at an auction. It's pretty cool. It has like a fun vintage primitive style. This wasn't in perfect condition. It had obviously broken at some point, and someone kind of repaired it with glue, so the lid didn't sit perfectly even. And this is a vintage sewing pattern for a smoking jacket, a unisex smoking jacket. It sold for $9. bit of an unusual pattern, not your typical like simplicity or butter it kind of pattern, so I did charge a little bit more than I would, and this was my only international sale of the week, and so the buyer paid more in shipping than they did for the pattern. And I sold 2 postcards this week. These both went to the same buyer. They're both vintage, unused postcards. This one has, I think, sago palms they're called, and this one has the world's largest cactus. The palm one sold for $5, and the cactus postcard sold for $4. So that's everything that sold. And just to reiterate, as I've said in the past, the prices that you see are the selling price of each item. They do not include the shipping charges that the buyer paid. They also do not include any fees that I paid to Etsy to sell the item. So that's just the selling price that you see there. I put out these What I Sold on Etsy videos every week showing the different vintage items that I've sold in my Etsy shop, Planet Alissa. And I do try to get some other helpful videos out on selling on Etsy and elsewhere online. I have been kind of behind this week. We had that holiday weekend and I feel like I spent all week catching up. But I will try to get another video out to you guys soon. Okay, have a great weekend everyone and happy selling!